right, let's jump right into it. 4 minutes past the hour. What's up, California, Arizona? We're competing. What did I say, California? We were on with California earlier. Jeez. Nevada, Arizona. I'm here in Vegas. Where are y'all at? Vegas, Arizona, put it in. Let's have a competition. Who's hotter today? Vegas or Arizona? That's what I want to see. Havasu. All right. AZ. What's up, Vegas? Havasu. So you guys, yeah, Havasu. That's hot too. Yuma. You might be winning right there. As far as hot. I remember passing through Yuma on my way to Mexico years ago, driving to Rocky Point. Beautiful Prescott 98. All right, Deborah, go ahead and rub it in for us. 120. Natalie, where's it 120? Better not be where I'm not going outside today. 119. Isn't it awesome? We get to like now compete on the hottest temperature. Hottest month, hottest June for Vegas on record, I think. Anyway, that's fun. That's a way to get everybody using the chat. Thank you. We're going to be using the chat to have a dialogue and conversation with everybody. Maybe if I get wild enough, I'll unmute somebody. But I do like to give or have conversations versus give presentations. So being that we have a fairly sizable group here, first of all, thank you for attending. I know you're super busy. That's my commitment, is to make this as meaningful as possible for you here today, and to not underappreciate the time that you've given. So enough of that. We're here to talk about winning strategies for buyers agents, how to elevate your process, maximize your value, and lock in your commission. As a way to demonstrate how I like to start with having a conversation is, I would like you to put in the chat what you foresee, aside from all the noise, white noise, and let's not throw NAR under the bus or use this as a bitching and moaning session, but put in the chat what, for you as a real estate professional, do you see the biggest challenge or challenges that are coming out of the NAR settlement when it comes to buyer representation and things like that? If you wouldn't mind, go ahead and put that in the chat. I want to use that as a launching pad for our conversation. So take a moment and tell me what you think the biggest challenges are. Veterans that are buyers. Why is that? I thought we handled that with the announcement they came out with. Uncomplicating for all the clients. Buyers can't afford to pay the extra 2 or 3%. Buyers going directly to listing agents, the unknown appraisal value. Getting an unknown buyer to sign an agreement. Getting buyers to want to pay for agents' compensation. Okay, all that good stuff, good stuff. Okay, so some good ones in there. Let's do this. Let me jump into, could you turn on Jocelyn screen sharing for me? Actually, I think I control that too. Hold on. Yeah, I got it. Thank you very much. Disregard my request. All right. I am going to attempt to get into some content. Now, by the way, guys, you can take notes, you can take pictures of the screenshots, but I will be sending a copy of the slide deck, so you don't have to freak out about capturing everything in here, because we are going to have some scripts and things you can use with the goal of you finding those useful. All right, so here we go. Give me a second to cue this up. All right. What you should be seeing is the slides, the welcome slide that says winning strategy. Somebody keep me honest. Yes, confirm, thumbs up. No. Paulette says no, you're not seeing that. Jocelyn, can you confirm that you're seeing my main slide up there? No.
No, I can only see the one that I was sharing.
All right. And you're, of course, not sharing anymore, right?
Oh, okay, let me see.
All right, here we go. I'll just redo it like this. Now we should be cooking with gas. Now we good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you everybody for participating. Housekeeping is out of the way. Let's talk about this winning strategies for buyers agents. I see more comments coming in. The reliance on both sides to communicate. Yes, isn't that a fun one? Cutting through the media hype, exactly. Look, hey, first lesson of our time here together is, folks, we all just get along, right? Can we all treat each other with respect and professionalism? Can we actually respond? You know, let's not go dark. Let's not go radio silent. There's going to be some tough challenges we need to work through and some wonkiness until this thing settles out. But I think the big headline here is let's all be professional. Okay, we have a fiduciary responsibility for our clients, and to maintain a level of professionalism in this industry, let's operate from that level. Everybody in agreement? I hope so. Hey, quick little bit of credibility. If anybody's curious about who the heck I am, if you want to dig more into what I do, you're welcome to follow my podcast, Mortgage Marketing Radio, Apple or Spotify. You can grab your phone and scan the QR code right now, depending on if you're an Apple person or a Spotify person. I've had it for 8 years, over 350 episodes. I've had Tom Ferry on. I've had other authors and speakers on. It's largely focused for my colleagues in the mortgage originator space. But then there's also this book. If you want to dig deeper, it is available on Amazon. There is a Kindle version. And then the paperback version is, I don't know, $12 or something. You can grab that as well. It's all about how to survive and thrive, the digital real estate shift. Why do I show these slides? Just for credibility. Do you want me to be completely honest? Because I think it's important and relevant for you to know who you're speaking or who you're listening to. And the fact that I've been in this industry since 2003 in a variety of different disciplines. That included an originator for 10 years in Southern California. That's included a trainer, sales coach. And now, I get to work with companies like Rock Title to educate you guys as our colleagues. And starting off with that, why we do this is we want to be considered a partner, not a vendor. And so that's why you'll see Rock Title, Rock University host educational content and put it out there for you. That is the reason. What are we going to talk about today? We're moving quick. Mastering your value, the buyer consultation, secrets of gaining trust, how to leverage your lender, and moving clients from confused to confident. But we are going to keep the activity, the engagement in the chat going. Here's what I see in the market right now. 3 kinds of agents: confused, without a clear plan; complainer, well, we know who that is; and then confident, clear on their value. I always ask this question when I represent those 3. How would you identify yourself? In which of the categories are you? Please take a moment now and enter your responses in the chat. Are you a little bit confused? And by the way, there's no judgment here, unless you're maybe that one in the middle. Right? Are you confused? Need a little direction? Confident? I see a lot of confident agents showing up. That's awesome. And by the way, it's okay to be a little bit confused because there's confusion around it. It hasn't been that clear, especially with the latest changes that they've said that they want to make. And for those in Arizona, have you been using a buyer broker agreement already, or is that a no? If you could just confirm, I don't want to make assumptions. Yes, you have, Mario. Thank you. Okay, great. And while I'm asking, how about you in Nevada? I'm going to ask that same question. Have you been using Vicky? Optional. There you go. That's the key differentiator. Optional. What I meant was it required. In some states around the country, Washington and others, a buyer broker agreement has been required already for years. Okay, so Arizona and Nevada, not required, optional. That's what I thought. But I didn't want to be assumptive. I wanted you guys to tell me. Yes, Paulette, I see not required, but you always use one because you're a smart agent. That's why you're here. Obviously, come August 17th, no longer optional, is it? Required. Okay, so here's the key takeaway. First headline: fundamentals. Whatever's happening with NAR and all this stuff and the noise, the fundamentals have not changed. This business comes down to conversations, appointments, and getting agreements. Who's with me on this? Agreed? Okay. But what has changed is how we need to step up our skills and demonstrate our value more effectively. That is the big change, because if you take what listing agents do, air quotes listing agents, right? What do? They do a presentation. They have a process. They have to establish value as to why I should list with you, right? To get your, the total commission, etc. There's a process people go through to list the house, and it's a bit formalized. There's the listing presentation. There's the pre-listing package, all that stuff, right? Now, buyers agents, anybody who's going to work with a buyer, right, essentially has to get better at leveling up and selling their value, because before, up until August 17th, well, the topic of compensation, by and large, for a buyer's agent representing, really didn't come up that much. I know some of you agents already mentioned it and brought it up perhaps with your clients, but as I talk to agents across the country, a lot of times it was just assumed, not mentioned. Don't worry about it. oh, the seller covers, oh, the listing side covers, whatever the thing that was said was, there wasn't much conversation between you and the buyer's agent around compensation. Fair? I think so. And I'm welcome. You guys can tell me if you think I'm right or wrong on that. Okay. So then let's talk about step one, how to master your value and secure your commission. I think what I'd like to start with is some data, because I think with the changes that are happening, and there is some little bit like, now I've got to take this thing on of like, quote unquote, selling myself to a buyer, even though, well, you'll see in a minute why you need to do that. Okay. This was a survey of over 1,000 people from 1,000 Watt Consulting, and they asked, why do you feel the services of a real estate agent are not necessary in buying a home? Almost half said, because I can find homes for myself online and for them myself. Almost 40% said, because it seems simpler to me to just work with the agent representing the seller. We'll come back to that. And 16%, not a huge amount, but notable. I don't think what real estate agents do is hard, and I'm confident I can do it myself. Ooh, okay. What does this tell us about the consumer's perception? Do they think people representing buyers do a lot of work? Short answer, no. Rachel's hot on the keys today. Absolutely not. They don't. I don't want to get into like whose fault is that, but the point is we need to control the narrative, right? Let's go on. Which of these statements do you think is most true? Again, back to the survey. This is interesting. It's the flip side of that coin. A real estate agent who works for buyers can get a better deal from the seller and their agent. A real estate agent can find homes for sale that may not be found online. And the biggie, an agent can help buyers make smarter decisions, looking at the pros and cons of buying a home, translating inspection reports, disclosures, interpreting the fine print and paperwork. So what's funny, you go back, you're like, oh, I can find the home myself. Why don't I just go right to the listing agent? Oh, because I don't think they work too hard. But if we dig deeper, well, I do think that a buyer's agent can help me get a better deal, find a home that's not online, and most importantly, the CYA principle, cover your ass, right? When it comes to looking at the pros and cons, et cetera, the more granular stuff, right? So what this tells us about what buyers value most is your knowledge, your expertise, and guidance. But as somebody mentioned earlier, the media is not helpful, right? So I want to give you one key takeaway from this, in what we need to do as agents across the board, I don't care listing or buy side, is we need to stop showcasing how damn easy it's been to sell a house. This whole sold in 6 minutes, 100 grand over ask, all this stuff about how my job is so damn simple. I just pull up in my Mercedes and roll out, right? Paulette says we caused this. To a degree, you're right, Paulette, we did. We diminished our value because we made it look so damn easy, which is why everybody jumps into business. And now people are flooding out of the business because they realize, holy crap, the easy ride's over, right? So here's an example of how you can use social media content that showcases how you help clients win. What do they think? They think it's easy to find homes online. Here it is right here. Zillow search, easy. Successfully negotiating in a seller's market, hard. We take care of the hard part. This, by the way, grab your phone, screenshot it. You're going to get the slides later, but these are posts you can swipe and deploy today, tomorrow. Good news, you don't have to be on video dancing or lip syncing. You can just do this simply on Instagram or Facebook, right? It's just text. Maybe it's an image with text over the image. This is not a how-to Instagram class. Get with Rock Title about that. They've got content. We've got content on that. But in the middle, deal killer or nice to know, navigating the home inspection. Another one, big deal or no. We help you sort out confusing disclosure reports. Now, those are just examples. You can do your own version of those. But the point being is now we're starting to plant seeds about there are additional things to consider when buying a house, perhaps, other than just finding the house. So it's on you to start controlling the narrative. And the way to do that is, if you're talking about, on social media, your audience, building this brand of you of having expertise, the first place to do that is with your content. No more easy peasy, jam, all that kind of stuff. No, we got to demonstrate what we do. Now, here's this one. I just want to work with a listing agent. I think everybody here already knows what's the downside of that. Well, I think it's important to then, come up with content around that, okay? Here's the caption. A seller's agent is always going to put the seller first. Hiring a buyer's agent ensures you get as much representation as they do from the offer to close. Your agent, you first. If you're ready to buy a home, you're ready for buyer representation. Same thing here. Buyer's agent represents you at every point, helping you evaluate, negotiate, get the home of your dreams. True representation is never double-sided. Now just skip to this. A seller's agent represents the seller. What about you? So is that educational or promotional? What would you guys say? Educational or promotional? A little bit of both, Mary? A little bit of both? Okay. Let me ask it this way. Is most of the content that agents put out promotional or educational? Here's a better way to ask it. Rachel says educational. Mario says education. Paulette says promotional. I'm going to say most of the content I see from agents being posted is promotional, where it's all focused on them. Here's again, all my sales. I'm a Centurion Award winner, right? I crushed it in 3 minutes, all this good stuff. That's what the most of it is, right? The least of it is educational about how you help solve problems. And if there's one way for you to win right out of the gate is to post problem solving content. You could argue this is somewhat promotional, I guess, because what you're doing is promoting using the services of an agent. But guess what? This isn't about you and all your successes and achievements. It's about actually protecting the client, the buyer. As Rachel says, leading with value. We have to demonstrate our value in our content. Agreed? Agreed. Okay, let's keep going. Next up, the buyer consultation and agreement. Who here does buyer consultations? I'm talking 30 to 60-minute buyer consultations, in person or over Zoom. Okay, Maria, not always, every time. Okay, it's a lot of yeses. All right. Now, some of you, I know you said use buyer agreements, some don't. That's obviously going to change. So we need to talk about this transition. I do a fair amount of time studying sales, training, scripting, dialoguing, and different things like that. And I think this is one of the areas I've seen that agents would like some assistance with, which is help me with what to say, right? You guys want to talk through a little bit of how do I introduce this? How do I talk about this in a comfortable way? Yeah, okay, thank you, Tina. Okay, cool, let's get into it then. Here's an opening statement. I'm going to suggest, and again, you can take a picture of this, but you're going to get the slides as well. When you're first engaging with a buyer, right? I'm going to suggest up here is where we're starting. Can you tell me what your experience is regarding what it takes to purchase a home in the current market? What do you understand about all the steps involved to make sure you get the right house you really want at the right price and terms that are agreeable to you? This is like first early on conversation, right? Beyond how did you hear about me? With all the changes happening in real estate, it's important to understand how everything works, including how professional agents like me are compensated. Would it help if I walked you through all the services we provide someone in your situation, whether it's a house you find yourself online or one that we find for you to make sure you have all the information you need to make informed decisions? Now, you guys are going to have your own version of this, your own style and tone. This is just the beginning track to run on. But how many of you here would think that if you get to the end of these kind of like 4 sentences, maybe it's a shorter version, you adjust it based on context? But I like this closing one right here. Would it help if I walked you through all the services we provide someone in your situation, whether it's a house you find yourself online or it's one that we find for you, because our goal is to make sure you have all the information you need to make informed decisions? Would it be helpful if I walked you through what it is that we do and what that, who would say no to that, right? Especially knowing that most of your clients are probably going to be first-time home buyers. Maybe they're moving them out of state. Who knows? But who doesn't like help, right? All right, so that's part one. And when they say yes, you go, okay, great. Our next step would be to arrange a consultation. We can understand your home buying goals. The consultation typically lasts around fill in your timeline, but we can take as much time as you need. Now here's some positive framing and next steps. By the way, there's absolutely no pressure to work with me after our consultation, but I'm confident you'll find the information and guidance valuable. What does your schedule look like for the next few days? See how we're moving people forward, right? In a very non-salesy type way. And I want you to start thinking of the word advisor, right? Consultant, not salesperson, not agent, advisor and consultant, because an advisor and a consultant guides people, right? And then there's tools and resources that you can provide to help establish your value of what great buyer's agents do. Surprise, you showed up today, you're getting a free gift. It is a 40-page editable home buyer's guide that is in Canva, and it is a template, and it allows you to go through the 40 pages and edit all the information that's in there that helps you establish your value. What does a buyer agent do? What is buyer agency all about? All those various things. You're going to get a copy of that from, either Jocelyn or Rock Title or somebody, but you're going to get that link as a result of you showing up. How's that for a free gift? Can we get a applauding hand emoji for Rock Title? Thumbs up at least. People are right now looking for the clapping emoji. Woo-hoo! Thank you, Rachel. All caps. Love it. Okay, great. I'm just going fast for our sake of time here. If you guys really want to go deeper on this, we got to go in person, right? Now, by the way, your own wonderful organization, the NAR, has different options for you to go grab as well. I put the QR codes on here in case you want to scan these. I think these take you right to the PDF. Let me see. Let's just see here. Hold the phone close enough. This is now going to open. Yeah, it's a PDF that you can send to yourself, email to yourself, download it. This will also be in the slides later, so don't sweat it. This will also give you social media posting ideas, by the way. I mean, out of 179 and 105 more, I would think you could come up with several weeks worth of content about what is the value that real estate agents bring to the table. Go ahead and grab the QR code, scan that document, and just start browsing it. You tell me if there aren't some pretty good nuggets in there, even if it is from the NAR. Oh, I'm just kidding. Somebody had to say it, right? Somebody hopefully is laughing virtually right now that I can't see. All right. So those are some tools and resources for you to start to build up your confidence of your value, because people are willing to pay you for representation. We're going to talk about that in a moment. I'm going to show you some stats. But before we get there, why are you reluctant to sign an agreement if you're presented? What would make you reluctant to sign any type of an agreement? I don't care what it's for. Real estate, buying a car, leasing, feel locked in, Ruby, no value, Liz. Yep, don't understand it, Maria, no trust. Terms, Gail, not understand. Exactly, right? Because they don't understand what they're signing, lack of explanation, Christina, unsure what the agreement means, I don't feel confident, not enough info. You guys are rocking today in the chat. Thank you. Feeling rushed? Yes. All the stuff a typical agent, not the agents who are here today, but a typical agent, right? Not a Rock Title approved agent. It's because it's unknown. It's certain. A lot of us are trying to just, we've got this short-term sales DNA. We're trying to go from 0 to 60 without giving them the context of really what the value to the agreement is to them. So we must, Laura, don't want to commit. We must explain the reason for asking them to sign an agreement. Like, for example, for those who've already used a buyer broker agreement, you already do that, don't you? Well, now you're just going to have to add the element of compensation to that. There you go, Mario. You already know what it's like to explain that. So this is just tacking on, right? This additional thing about compensation. Okay. Now, let me give you a couple options here, because Laura said don't want to commit. I've seen this come out, from the Tom Ferry camp. If you're a fan or not, I don't know. It really doesn't matter. I think it's a good idea. I've seen some agents using this. They have, now they're using what's called primary and secondary agreements. Has anybody seen these or heard of these? Maybe you're using one already. Maybe you'll have more than two options. Short-term listing agreement, you could call the secondary agreement, or short-term buyer's agreement, I should say. Mario has seen it. Yeah. So I'll briefly explain. Now we're back into the script and we're talking about the buyer agreement. And you're trying to get them to sign, in most cases, your primary agreement. By the way, Mario, what's the length on your buyer agency agreement? Is it 6 months or 12? 6. Okay, great. Yeah, I was at an office a few weeks back and they said 12 months. And I was like, in this market, I would not sign a 12-month buyer agreement. All right. 6 months may or may not work as well for some people. And that's why I think some of the agents are using the secondary one. But let me walk you through this, okay? So what's this agreement about? Well, Mr. and Mrs. Client, Paulette, June 30th, December 30th, okay? So this is you back to the client. All right, let me explain what this agreement is about, this buyer agency agreement. And guys, by the way, guys, I know you're gonna have your own process that you enter into this, where you're gonna talk about agency and representation, that, you know what I mean? So you make this your own. I'm just hoping we're gonna fill in some gaps for you. So, hey, my goal is to represent you, right? The listing agent the seller has representation. Let me take this off so you're listening to me. The seller has representation, right? You as a buyer, right? Would it make sense if you had representation as well to protect your needs and interests, et cetera, et cetera? Well, yeah, it would. Well, that's why we do, and I'm sure Mario would do a way better job than me. Okay, but so this agreement all outlines my responsibilities and compensation structure, which we can review together if you have any questions. Here's an open-ended. Would you be interested in taking a few minutes to go through the agreement to see how it can benefit you? Okay, now, once again, positive framing and next steps. So you're going to go through the agreement right here. It says, would you be interested in taking a few minutes to go through the agreement, see how it can benefit you? So you have your agreement, right? And I know you're getting stuff from your board of realtors and all that stuff. Maybe Arizona, you already have your new agreement. I don't know. Nevada, if they're not, like, everyone's coming out with them now or within the next 2 weeks, right? Because August 17th is the deadline. So you're going to run with that as like your main driver and talk around that. But you're going to review the terms of that. Maybe you have your own and you structure it. So with everything you reviewed, are you feeling confident about moving forward with the agreement and setting up and getting started with your home search? That's after you've reviewed the terms. If yours is 3 months, 6 months, if you've got, you know, a 2.5% compensation, whatever your percentage is, if you got a flat fee, those are all variables that you guys are going to adjust accordingly on your own. What I'm trying to do is get them to A, feel comfortable in understanding what the agreement is, its purpose, and then B, getting them to move forward to signing it. And you may have some resistance, some reluctance, depending on how much they understand or feel comfortable with it. So if they're hesitant, say, I understand you're hesitant. Can I share why this is an important step? Sure. The agreement ensures I'm fully dedicated to finding your perfect home, acting solely in your best interest, just like the seller has their own agent in their best interest. For example, if we see a property with multiple offers, I can use my skills to advocate for the best price and terms. Without this agreement, I wouldn't be able to represent you in that way. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay, great. Well, I'd love the opportunity to represent you for any home we find. Underline any home we find. If you choose a FSBO, a home where the seller offers no buyer agent compensation, then we will negotiate differently if the listing already has the buyer's compensation built in. Many times buyers will offer a buyer's agent compensation. My fee is X and may be covered in the seller's offer. However, if they offer less than my fee of X, then we would negotiate differently. Okay? So again, just examples, you adjust the language to your preference, and I'm sure this will change over time, over the coming weeks and months, as you get deeper into the real world experiences of using this. Now, quiz time. Do you think buyers are reluctant to compensate you as a real estate agent for your services as they representing them on the buy side? No. Paulette? Depends on their situation, not if you have the value. Good answer. Candace? Cynthia says no. Mario says no. Jeff says hell yes. Jeff Adams, your name looks familiar for some reason. Good spelling of the first name. Are buyers reluctant? So hell yes, not if they're well educated. I think the answer to this is it depends on a variety of the factors, like you guys mentioned. And those are some of the factors. But here's the data. Again, 1,000 people surveyed. if you're buying a home today and your budget was $500,000, how much would you be willing to pay for the service of an agent to guide you through the process? A whopping 37% said $10,000. Guys, what percentage is that of $500,000? You math whizzes. What's 10 grand of $500,000? What percentage? 2%. Maria, she's the winner. Mario comes in a close second. It's a horse race. Guys, isn't that roughly around, right? Close to the average 2.5%, say, commission? Yeah. Okay. 15% said 12.5. Now we're getting up there. 17% said 7,500, right? So you were right. You had the correct answer. Buyers are willing to compensate you, as many of you had added. Those who can both articulate and deliver value will continue to do well. Those who do not know how to articulate value are likely going to struggle, because I can't see the compelling reason of why should I even hire you, number one. Number two, be willing to have you be compensated for that, which might be out of my pocket, by the way. All right, keeping an eye on the clock here. What if they say, I'm not ready to sign? Time out, not ready to sign. Okay, cool. I understand completely. You may want to get a feel for the market before committing to a full service agreement. The good news is I can still help you at this stage. We offer solutions like short-term buyer agreements or single home buyer agreements. So this is that secondary agreement we were talking about. You can do a short-term agreement for 30, 90, right? Whatever, 60 days. Or I've seen some agents propose a single home agreement. In the event that you go out, right, and you want to make an offer on this house, we need to move quickly. We want to make sure that you've got representation. Maybe you want to have a few of these in your backpack ready to go based on the right solution in the context of that client situation. And let's just say, right, they're not going to sign the 6 month, but you represent, the other one that you got, let's say the 30 or 60 day or the single home, and they seem more accepting to that. Well, why don't we put together a short-term or single property agreement? I want to make sure you have proper representation. The event you're interested in, how did you find this weekend while you're in town? Confident once you experience the value, you want to be on board as a full service client. For example, a short-term agreement would allow us to focus on your search for, say, the next 30 days. Get a head start with my expertise, guidance, without a full-fledged commitment. Here's some advantages. Keep in mind, venturing out on your own might seem appealing at first, but negotiations, multiple offers without representation can be tricky. With this short-term agreement, you still have access to my negotiation skills and market knowledge. Again, you're selling your value. You're saying, I'm here for you. I'm in your corner. Go ahead. Go shopping, crazy couple, for 30 days. And I still got your back if you want to move quickly. Easy out, cancel anytime, right? All right, so Gail, I've seen your question come in. You might be jumping ahead, which is true. When you have a first-time home buyer, enough down payment, how are they going to pay a buyer's agent fee? They're not, out of pocket anyways, but we will come back to that. Okay, now you've talked to them about, would you be interested in learning more about how our short-term agreement can be beneficial? You guys get where this is going, right? In the meantime, I can show your properties that might be a good fit, blah, 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 blah. And then you get back into your question. Hey, what options are most important to you know? So I know I went through that quickly. I know you're going to want to make some adjustments to that. The script is contextual based on 13 different scenarios of who you're dealing with at that moment in time. But like my friend Phil M. Jones says, who wrote this book, Exactly What to Say for Real Estate Agents. And if you don't have the book, I highly suggest you get it on Amazon. It's written specifically for you. It's co-written by Chris Smith and Jimmy Mackin, who are the two co-founders of Curator. Not sure if you've heard of those guys, but two brilliantly smart marketers in real estate. I interviewed Chris Smith on my podcast. And as the main author, Phil Jones says, the worst time to think about what to say is in the moment you need to say it. Yes, Jeff?
He didn't do shit.
He didn't do shit. Can you mute yourself, please? Jocelyn, can we please mute everybody? Let me go and see if I can do this. Must be a transaction about another agent. Jeff, it is an awesome audio.
Jeff, you're muted. Sorry, I accidentally muted you too.
Am I in the doghouse too? Come
There
on.
we go. Sorry.
Oh, that was pretty funny though, right? Hopefully everybody's laughing. That's what I mean about professionalism, real estate agents. You never know who's listening. All right. I come through loud and clear now? Yes, you'll get copies of scripts. As I had said at least 3 times, you're going to get a copy of the slides. But more importantly, get a copy of this book. Okay? All right. Now let's get into finance and money and how are we going to cover this if I don't have the money as a buyer, etc. I'm going to talk about how to leverage your lender to create confident buyers and winning offers. Okay? Let's get back into you presenting your value. You're talking to this prospective clients. Hey, as we dig into your home search together, one of the most important steps is getting pre-approved for a mortgage. This will not only give you a clear picture of your buying power, but also make you a much stronger contender when submitting offers. Okay? I already have a lender. Anybody get that? Anybody still listening? You already got a lender? Oh yeah, you get that all the time, right? Okay, cool. How's this? That's fantastic. Do you have a pre-approval? Whatever they say, yes, no, that's awesome. Having a pre-approval is a great first step. Can I ask what kind of loan options did your lender discuss with you? You want to dig in. Are they blowing smoke, or do they actually have a full pre-approval? May I see a copy of it? The reason why I ask is because sometimes, even with a pre-approval, there might be additional options available that your current lender may not have mentioned, which could save you money. Would you be open to hearing what my lender partner, right, has to offer as a second opinion, as a backup? Ultimately, the goal is to ensure you have the most competitive financing for your unique situation. Of course, the decision is ultimately yours. With your permission, may I connect you with, right, my lender to explore all your options. They might have insights about your current lender, as I mentioned. It's all about ensuring you can cut this short. Even if you choose to stick with your lender, that's cool. I'm still here to help you navigate the entire home buying process. Okay. Now you can take that any way you want. Do the 3. By the way, I'm not a fan of the 3-card approach at all, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now. But I'm just saying, like, I remember I was working with Walter Sanford in Long Beach, California. This is going back 25 years ago or so. I don't know if anybody knows that name, but Walter was one of the top agents in Long Beach, California for 16, 20 years. He sold a house a day every day for about that entire time. And Walter's number one thing he wanted on every client transaction was iron-fisted client control. And I actually was doing loans with Walter. I was his lender. And Walter would used to write me into the contract. If they were making an offer on his listing, Walter would say, hey, all offers to be pre-approved through my lender, Jeff, at Countrywide Home Loans, after which time buyer is free to use any lender of their choice. Now, some of you go for that, some of you don't. It depends on the market. In a crazy market like we had post-COVID, that's too crazy. It's too fast. You can't do that. However, in this market, right, you want to make sure that you've got a rock solid buyer with rock solid offers. And if they're coming to you with, I already have a pre-approval, it's on you to vet that out. Because if you're going to represent them, obviously, who here's had a deal blow up in your face 11th hour because of financing, right? Probably most of you here. Okay, so there's some other script in here regarding the lender thing that I didn't want to get into just for sake of time, because you guys will have that. But the goal is to move them from confused to confident. Does it hurt to run another credit check? No, depending on the window of time that they've been running credit pulls for shopping. They have a 30-day window for mortgage pulls when it comes to buying a house, which is different than other types of consumer credit they're going for. Other consumer credit cards, for example, that's where they get dinged, as we have multiple, checks on your credit like that. So hopefully that answers that question. But look, when it comes to you delivering value, it's about your process So here's 3 stages, right? Collaborating with your lender for an amazing client experience. Like the handoff is critical. And I can stop right now and do the next 20 minutes all about how to improve your handoff to the lender. How do you edify the lender? How do you tee them up? How do they edify you when the referral comes over? Like if it was me and it's Tina, and Tina's the lender and I'm the agent, I'd be saying to Sally and Joe, hey, Sally and Joe, so I'm going to introduce you to my lender, Tina. She's been on my team for 4 years, and Tina is one of the most professional, knowledgeable, successful lenders in our area. She's done multiple transactions with me. She's one of the top lenders in the state, and she's somebody who actually does a very thorough job, is more of an advisor, and actually cares about their clients. And that's why I choose to partner with Tina, because she's a key part of helping my clients win the house they love. Okay, there you go. That's called teeing up a lender. And then when the borrower, gets on the phone with Tina or whatever, and Tina's the lender, and then I'm the agent, Tina's going to edify me. And Tina's going to say, oh, you were referred by Jeff. You know what? I've been working with Jeff for 4 years. Jeff is one of the most professional realtors in the entire city of Las Vegas. We've done multiple transactions together. I got to say, he's one of the most competent professional agents in town, and you've made an excellent, smart choice in choosing Jeff as your real estate agent to represent you. How often does that actually happen in a transaction? Not often. And the goal is confident buyers, which means collaborate with your lender, communicate, right? Establish value so you get more people choosing you to represent them. And guys, there was a study done by that same company I'm showing you, 1000 Watt Consulting, that did a survey of buyers who came to the table who already had their own pre-approval. Roughly half of the time, even though they had a quote pre-approval, they went with the choice of financing that the realtor provided. Why? Trust, confidence. That's why. All right, there's my soapbox. Now, here's why I want you to get with your lender. This goes with the question a moment ago about affordability and what if the buyer doesn't have money. I can't remember who that was, but feel free to chime in again if you want to let me know your name, so I give you a shout out. It's a great question. There will be buyers who do not have the money to pay you out of pocket. That was Gail. Here's why your lenders is such a key part of this NAR settlement thing moving forward. Here's a scenario using a tool called Mortgage Coach. Get with your lender and see if they use it. If not, you can still do the scenarios here. But here's a list price of a house, $500,000, right? Well, let's use an interest rate of 7.5. There's no commission offered. Seller, nope, screw that, not paying. Okay. Well, what are we going to do? Are we going to not buy that house? Are we going to not show houses? Only show houses that have seller comp? Well, that's called steering. But you can add your commission to the purchase price. Okay, that's right here, this first bullet called the commission gap strategy. And I want to show you, before anybody freaks out about like that increasing the payment, if you add $10,000 to the purchase price on that 7.5% interest rate, that payment goes from $31.88 to $32.44. Does anyone know what the math is on that real quick? I'm going to do it real quick. 31.88 minus, no, I'm not. 31.88 minus 32.44. That's $56, ladies and gentlemen. Do you think that buyer would be willing to consider buying that home if it meant an extra $56 in their monthly payment? I think so. Now, before you jump down my throat, it has to appraise, Jeff. I know, it has to appraise. There's also an appraisal gap strategy that I'm not going to go into right now for sake of time, but what I'm conveying to you is lender, agent, you guys are dynamic duo. You're Batman and Robin or Batgirl and Robin, right? Whatever it is. You need to get with your lender to have these conversations about how you're going to help people should they not have the ability to pay out of pocket. So here's a question from Jesse. The buyer has to max out or get close to maxing out seller concessions to pay for a rate buy down. Do they have other options? There's always other options. Okay. Speaking of seller buy downs, by the way, if you guys have a listing that's sitting, I would like you to consider something other than reducing the price. Oh, by the way, Deborah, that's not a program. We just call it the commission gap strategy. All it is taking your commission and adding it to the purchase price and financing your commission, essentially. It doesn't sound great when you say it that way, right? And I'm not saying how many times this scenario will come up, but know that it's there as an option. If it's the house they love, yeah, Mortgage Coach. Thank you, Anna. If it's the house they love, that's a software, Mortgage Coach. And again, the takeaway is this is ask your lender, hey, have you heard of a commission gap strategy? Or, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Lender, what can we do in the event that a buyer wants a particular house, but the seller isn't paying comp to me, the buyer's agent, yet they really, really want that house. I don't work for free. Can we finance? Can we add my compensation to the purchase price? Yeah, same thing we've done with adding seller concessions. Exactly. Now, regarding seller buy down, this is a cool tool, which your lender can help you with as well. And this is showing some arrows right here, but $33.90 purchase price. Then there's what's called a $10,000 seller paid down, right? Which is obviously adding, it's a concession, it's a seller concession. There's different types of seller pay downs. There's a 2-1, there's all this kind of stuff. Anyway, the bottom line is I want to show you that right here in green. So if you follow my mouse where it says monthly savings, the standard purchase price is $390. A seller pay down saves that person $182 a month. And then if you do this more aggressive seller pay down called a 2-1 temporary buy down, that saves the buyer, I'm saying, $429 a month. And let me see if this is being shown here. I don't think this is the best representation. What I'm trying to illustrate here is that if you just reduce the purchase price by that same amount, $10,000, it does not save the buyer big money. Yeah, Mickey's been doing that for a while. Not a lot of people have. And the reason why I bring this up is because you've got some listings that are sitting and are going to be sitting longer. I heard it said the other day, we're not in a housing recession. We're in a transaction recession. And get ready for the rest of this year to be slow on transactions and to have listings sitting longer. And so one of your jobs, as if you do have listings, is to make that property attractive. And lowering the price is one way to have it be perceived as attractive to potential buyers. But the reality is that doing a seller buy down is way more attractive to buyers because it lowers the payment significantly. So Rachel, Mortgage Coach is a software program, Mortgage Coach. It's a software program that is used by lenders to run visual scenarios like these to make it easy for people to understand the impact of financing on purchase price, interest rates, etc. So ask your lender to use Mortgage Coach. Or there's another one, it's called MBS, Mortgage-Backed Securities, MBS Highway. Check out either of those two. And I guess that leads me to the big question of the day is how is your lender helping you in this current market to win? Are they? Maybe you just haven't had the conversation. I'm saying if they haven't proposed the conversation to you about how you as a team are going to adapt to this NAR settlement and the conversations and the new process, buyer process that you set up, if you've not had those conversations yet, now is the time. Now is the time. Paulette, the other program I mentioned is called MBS, like the initials you have in your chat. MBS Highway. I just said mortgage-backed securities so everybody knew phonetically what I was saying. But it's called MBS Highway. Yes, MBS. Michael Bob's Stanley Highway. I wish I had those links ready to go and share with you, but your lender either has them or can get them. Okay. So I want to pause and let's just take a little bit of Q&A because I'm kind of almost at the end of our time, but I want to leave a little bit of time for Q&A. One, maybe get your big takeaway. And then two, what questions do you have? What changes are you going to make? How are you, what do you think is the biggest thing you're going to add to your business? Where's the chat? There we go. And by the way, somebody can unmute if you want to. Why not? Do it. Request to unmute. Do. Education from you, from me and my lender. Right on, Rachel. Yeah, what did I write down the other day? All right, here we go. Entertainment attracts, education converts. What's one big idea from today? Rachel said it. What else you got? Be more intentional on educational posts and social media. There you go, Lisa. Great job. Mario, show value by educating clients, partnering with a lender should be a key part of your conversation. Show your value all day long. Wave your freak flag of value high, right? Be more creative with financing compensation, especially the new changes, crucial to getting transactions. And who's that? That's Jesse. Awesome. That's your job, is to get the ball into the end zone, right? You are the quarterback. Advise and consult equals guide, right? Stop selling, start helping. And be willing to endure like a marathon. A little bit of a longer cycle. But I don't know if you guys saw the Fannie Mae housing price index survey was released today. And so with their all these, they survey 100 people several times throughout the year. And these are like, well-established economists, experts, and all this kind of stuff, people who, I call smarter than me. And everybody from that, there's a consensus of 75% of those people felt that interest rates would be between 6.75 and 6.5 by the end of this year. So that's some forward movement positively there. Potentially, there you go, Julia. You guys are getting it. Up the purchase price to offset the compensation. Be creative, right? And continue to get educated about this. And get after it now, by the way. Don't wait till August 17th. Put those changes in place now. Some of you are, I know. Start talking about it now. All right. The only thing to finish off with is just as a reminder, the resources, that home buyer guide template, the PowerPoint slides that you're going to get. I'm going to send those off to you guys. And if you guys, I don't know if there's a way, Jocelyn, for them to let you know how they like this class, if we've got a rating, a scoring. Tell you what, you all can leave me a Google review if you want. For every Google review, I'll give you a free book. How's that? Ooh, wow. Talk about an ethical bribe now.
For your Google business?
Here,
Yeah,
I'm gonna put the link in the chat. Give me a second to pull it up. By the way, Jocelyn, did you know we have a Google review class?
Yeah, you have Google reviews, open houses. I have a list of everything you told me yesterday.
Okay, good. All right, here we go. Leave me a review here. An honest review.
AI too. You said you had a class on AI too.
Yeah, ChatGPT.
Over 20 classes. I took notes yesterday.
I don't know if it went in. Hold on. Let me grab that link again. So what'll happen is if you guys leave me a review, I will find you. Obviously, I'll be able to look you up, hopefully online, and I'll send you a free copy of my book. There's the review in the chat. If you like today's class and you'll have something positive to say about today's class, what did you learn? Big takeaway. Jeff's funny. He's got good hair. Like whatever it is you want to say, I'll take it. And the fact that he spelled Jeff the right way, there you go. I think that's enough. Okay.
All those things, Jeff.
Thank you so much. What was the name of the other book I suggested? It's called Exactly What to Say. Let me walk over to my desk here and get it. Exactly What to Say. Amazon. A little blurry. There it is. Exactly What to Say. Notice it's earmarked.
How do we find your other classes?
You asked Rock's title to get going with some more classes.
Whoop, whoop.
All right, guys. Hopefully you got some value out of here today and you start thinking about value and scripting, and you'll get the slides. You can start adding that to your conversations. Consultation advisor, right? Be the guide. Okay. How's that? We're finished. Top of the hour. Done. And by the way, thank you, Rock Title, for hosting this. It's because we want to be a partner, not a vendor.
Of course, yeah. We'll see you guys in escrow.
See you in escrow. That's right. Where's the shirt? See you in escrow.
Justin has like a really nice shirt that says "See you in escrow." I probably need one.
Yes, I do too. All right then. Okay, guys. Unless somebody, I'll hang out for a couple of minutes if you guys want to ask me a direct question. But Jocelyn's in control of the meeting. Back to you.
If nobody has any more questions, thank you guys all for showing up. I did put the link to our YouTube channel in the chat. If you guys want to subscribe, this class should be uploaded tomorrow. And yeah, we'll see you guys in escrow. Anything else before we end the chat?
All right then. See you guys.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.